Good morning, guys. Good evening, good afternoon, whenever you may be watching this. You might be watching this while you're doing your post-workout cardio, AM cardio, fasted cardio, chilling at night, eating your dinner, whatever. But welcome back to another video. Now, today we're going to start off with something just a little bit different because I'm forever getting questions regarding my supplementation, what I'm taking, how much I'm taking, if I'm taking this, if I'm taking that, or for example, what should you be taking, or should you be taking what I'm taking? There's so many questions that I get asked. So I thought what better to do than actually and introduce you guys to this video with me running over all of my supplements which I got right here. So this is essentially going to be every single supplement that I take to get shredded. I'm now 13 weeks out from the BNBF finals or the DFAZ Grand Prix in which I'll be competing in. So these are going to be all the supplements, and I know that I've done this before in terms of what I've took in my off season, but there's a couple more in here that I've not actually spoken about, and a couple more that I've got back into my stack that I'm going to go over today. So first of all, we'll just start off nice and early, essentially nice and early because I'm taking these supplements first thing in the morning. So we've got my AGF protein from Unrivaled. So of course that goes in my oats first thing in the morning, and I will take a shake before bed. So 1.5 scoops of that goes in my oats in the morning, and of course pre-bed. And then post-workout, staying with Unrivaled, we've got my rapid recovery shake. So again, that's just a fast-acting carbohydrated shake. It's a recovery shake that for any athlete whatsoever, I would most definitely recommend you've got that in your stack. That's a supplement that since I started taking it around, it'll be about kind of 3-4 years ago now, around 2018, I actually implemented this into my diet when it was quite new and it quite just came out, and guys sent me some out, and it was just a case of I have literally never turned back. So that's been in my supplement stack every single day. That goes in post-workout, regardless what day it is. That'll go in every single day. 50 grams fast-acting carbohydrates, 24 grams proteins. It's just an overall perfect recovery shake. So moving away from that, we move to HR Labs. So what we'll do is we'll stick these ones to the side now, and we'll go for Intra first. So Intra, again, most of these are V2s now. So we've got No Code, which again is my essential amino acid, and Level Up V2, which is now going to be stacked with No Code. Again, that's something else to help me feel full throughout the session, feel energized throughout the session, because as a natural bodybuilder, or as a bodybuilder in general, this is very much something that you should be intaking within your stack and within your intra workout, just to keep you energized throughout the full session. Because at the end of the day, of course, not many people get the chance to diet on a lot of food. Therefore, having something like that is more so driven towards being able to keep your performance up, being able to keep your energy up, and be able to keep you full and obviously hydrated throughout the session from the essential amino acid. Moving prior to that, we have got DFib, which is going to be my pre-workout. So anybody that knows that I take this in every single day for my pre-workout. That's literally never changed. And again, since starting working with HR Labs, that's always been my go-to pre-workout. They have had another one in which I have ran, and don't get me wrong, it was beneficial, but I somehow just found myself back to DFib, and again, it's something that I would always recommend for a pre. It's a high stimulated pre, so again, if you are taking anything like DFib, then I would make sure to just kind of test your tolerance first. Don't be going straight in with like 3 scoops, even though I wouldn't recommend doing 3 scoops regardless, because it is very high stemmed. But again, one of the best pre-workouts, if not the best, on the market today. And it's another thing as well, obviously you'll hear me talking about these supplements, but I've used these supplements for years. I've never switched away to any other brand, never switched away to any other company, and since starting using these, like I used these way before I even started working with HR Labs. I used Unrivaled way before I even started working with HR Labs. So Unrivaled, sorry. So that's just the side bonus at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying these are the best because I work for them. I'm literally saying these are the best because these are the ones that have done me the biggest like benefits, and they've aided my performance. They've got me to where I am today, and that's why I will forever stick with them, and I've got no interest in moving away from them. So next up, again, we can stay with the pre-workout. We have got Rhydon back into my stack. So again, anybody that knows this just literally came back in stock. So this is a supplement that has been very hard to get back in. It's a pump formula, but it's an overall supplement, overall lifestyle supplement. It's going to increase absolutely everything from your pumps in the gym to your pumps outside the gym, libido wise. It's going to improve absolutely everything. It's a phenomenal supplement, like seriously. If anything, this is just came back in stock, and I can almost guarantee that it's going to be sold out within like another kind of couple of weeks probably, which I mean, it'll probably be back to the getting it hard back in stock. So realistically, if you can get your hands on something like Rhydon, then I would most definitely recommend that. But that goes in pre-workout every single day, and I will do 6 capsules of that pre-workout, and I will be doing 6 capsules today because it's chest day. But you can also split something like that up to 3 and 3 3 because the new format of this is 3 and 3 or 6 pre-workout. It used to be 4. So just ensure that you remember that there is a new layout of what you should be doing with that. And then next up, last one from HR Labs, we've got Basic. Again, guys, anybody that knows I swear by Basic. This is a supplement that, again, I've had in from the very start. It's a saturation formula. It's a creatine-based drink as well. And it's a non-stimulated drink, so it means that you can take it at any point of the day. I take it pre-bed, pretty much just before I take my AGF. I can still sleep like a baby. It never affects anything. No caffeine or anything in it. And again, it's something that's going to be formulated towards improving your strength and just your general moods and your hydration. It's a saturation formula. So again, it's something that's going to benefit you and always keep you hydrated, in which it's another supplement for assisted athletes, for natural athletes. If you don't have something like this in your stack, I would recommend it. Like, you don't need to believe it from me, just believe it from anybody that's been able to take this supplement and anybody that's actually ran this supplement. There's never been a bad word said about it, and I would more than definitely recommend having that in. But that's something that is in every single day, training days, non-training days, that'll always be staying in. And again, moving towards the health side of things, we've got a multivitamin here. So this was actually picked up over the course of the weekend. This is actually a powdered base multivitamin. So again, just having a normal simple multivitamin in your diet is something that can help your immune system a whole lot more than what you actually think. So since the very start of my kind of training career, the only kind of vitamin and mineral side of things I've really took anything to do with has been just a multivitamin. I do like to get obviously my micros and that from my food, but at the same time, implementing something like that, or supplementing, I should say, something like that into your diet is more than beneficial. So if anything, I would recommend not forgetting about your vitamins. And last but not least, something that I have actually implemented as of late. Now, don't get me wrong, I have literally not a single thing to do with Strom. I'm not sponsored by them. This isn't a paid video or anything like that, but I have actually recently just implemented Support Max Joint. Now, this has been because obviously my sciatica, my glutes, my lower back, when everything started to go downhill a little bit, my joints, of course, do take a beating. Don't get me wrong, I've kind of started to understand a little bit more. My joints take a beating every single day in the gym. Like my elbows, my knees. I've took on board, we've only got one set of elbows, we've only got one set of knees. My sciatica, my joints down at my hips, my joints down at my glutes, they've started taking a whole lot more of a pounding, just purely down to the fact of everything taking a lot more pressure with me trying to compensate on one side because of obviously my little niggle and my injury. So implementing something like this, I've had it in for around 3 weeks now, and I can only say I've been able to feel a whole lot better off of something like that. So it's definitely something that moving forward, whenever I finish this tub, which I'm nearly finished it, I will just be purchasing another tub and I will be keeping it in my stack because it's been so beneficial towards obviously my injury as of late, and it's kept me in a very good place, especially throughout prep. When realistically you've got to take on board when you're dieting, you lose support around joints. So it means that whenever you're still trying to press heavy weights, you've not got that support there to stabilize heavier weights. Your joints take double the pressure because of course you're not having really anything to kind of aid them in terms of body fat. So realistically implementing something like this into your diet can be a whole lot beneficial. But that is going to be it for my stack, guys. Unrivaled Rapid Recovery, AGF protein, we've got a multivitamin, we've got my Support Max Joint, we've got Basic, Ride On, Defib, Level Up, and No Code as my intro. So anything from HR Labs, guys, you can simply use my discount code. It's just Keffy15. Again, if you use it, I very much appreciate it. It does, of course, support me a lot. But that is going to be for my full supplement stack to get me shredded. These are all of the supplements that I take throughout prep, and they're going to be all of the supplements that I take for the next 13 weeks before the show. But no more rambling on. It's chest day. We're going to go in for a big one. Ultraflex Durham. I'm going to be back on flat bench today, so I am more than definitely looking forward to it. But apart from that, I hope you guys do enjoy this video. If you do enjoy it, please do not forget to drop the video a like for me. Turn on post notifications because it does, I've noticed, help these videos so much more. Drop loads of comments down below what you would like to see in future videos, because again, we're dropping content like it's nobody's business to try and grow this channel as much as possible. Subscribe to the channel if you are new, and let's get to the gym. So guys, I almost forgot, what I forgot to mention up here is my food. Now, the biggest thing you would have seen there is when I just went through all of my supplements, there was not one fat burner in there. Not a single fat burner, nothing to do with fat loss, nothing at all. No Yohimbine, no any fat burner. I don't even know what half of them are called these days, but there's literally nothing in there to do with any sort of fat loss products. Now, that's the biggest thing that I do want to elaborate more on is, or just kind of cover, let the food do the work. You don't need to be implementing any sort of got my chicken in there. You don't need to be implementing any sort of daft fat burners at the end of the day when you can just put yourself in a calorie deficit. Stay in it for a long period of time and you will drop body fat. You'll get hard, you'll get grainy. And personally myself, I'm not going to be implementing any sort of fat burners throughout this whole prep. Look at me 13 weeks out, I'm a lot leaner than pretty much where I've ever been. Again, I'm a lot leaner than what people would maybe look like 4, 5, 6 weeks out. And it's simply just been down to the fact of food at the end of the day. Like, I let food do all the work. You should let food do all the work. Most of the fat burners out there these days, like, they're pretty much just full of chemicals, or they're either not natural at the end of the day. Like, I'm not saying that you should be never ever taking them. Don't get me wrong, like on the assisted side of things, it's going to be a different approach, because realistically you're probably going to implement something like that down the line, which again is totally different to a natural athlete. At the end of the day, if you're natural, let the food do the work, take the supplements that you need to supplement, but don't try and look for that easier option and just throw in all these fat burners and have to do all this cardio because the food's not working. If you give yourself enough time, you train hard at the end of the day, you let food do the work. Again, train to eat. If you train hard enough, you can eat a lot of food, you can get shredded. But yeah, that's all. Don't put in the fat burners if you don't need them. One thing you will see is I switched across to the Texas Power Bar today. This is something that I've done over the past 2 chest sessions when I've done flat bench. I've switched across to the Texas Power Bar purely just out of the fact that whenever I've been bench pressing, in Ultraflex anyway, I've always been using a bar with no center knurling, so there's always been a bit of a whip on it whenever I've got to around 3 plates a side. Not that it's put me off, I've still worked with it, but see, switching across to something that I used to always use, which is a stiff bar for a barbell bench, I get on far better with it and I can really stay more locked in with it. So that's what we're using today, Texas Power Bar. We're going to take it up to around maybe 140 or 150 for a good single, and then we're going to accumulate volume on 130 today. Last week I'd done 3 sets of 8 with 120 for paused. Today we're going to move up to 130, and I'm going to look for between 4 sets of 6 or 3 sets of 7, totally depending on how I'm feeling. That'll really dictate what I do for my top end, but I'm feeling good. Jumped on the pec deck there just to get a bit of blood flow in around the chest, get it activated a little bit. I didn't pre-exhaust, I didn't take it too far. I kept it nice and light and I kept the reps nice and high. So just to get a bit of blood in means I can connect nicely on here. I'll warm up my lats as well just to ensure that I can get my lats nice and tight for me obviously being explosive. But yeah, that's what we're going to do on bench today. I'm just going to get stuck into this and then we'll be moving on to an incline movement second. Nice. I'm feeling good. Which is actually a surprise because this is actually an early session. 1 meal in and we're in for a flat bench. Realistic, everybody's initial thought would be I'm going to be so much weaker. I'm going to have less energy. I'm dieting, which is another excuse that I should be a lot less energized. I should be a lot weaker this morning. Came in, just doubled 120 and it felt like the lightest 120 he's ever felt. So I mean, we're in a very good spot. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling fresh. I've done legs last night, so my hamstrings are feeling a little bit beat up, therefore I'm not getting too much leg drive. Not as much as I would like anyway. But at the same time, this is the kind of part we pay whenever we do legs the night before, something down the lines of a bench press. I just love bench pressing, so I'm not going to leave it a few days before I do it. We're in for chest today, regardless of whether I get leg drive or not. I'm going to take this for a nice and easy single. Then what we might do is we'll choose from here whether we go either 150 or 160, then back to 130 for the working sets, and then we'll barter through the working sets and then we'll get on with it. But I'm feeling good. Just got to get some heavy music in my ears. So one thing I did actually want to kind of show you guys is just quickly. I always see people using wrist straps wrong. So this is one of the biggest tips that I can give anybody that uses wrist straps, using them correctly. So whenever you think about it as well, we're dieting, right? So we're going to have a lot less support around the joints, therefore we realistically need to be using these to the absolute best of our ability. So maybe when we're on your off season, you could probably get away with using them a little bit wrong. But whenever you're on prep and you're dieting and you've got less support around the joints and you're bitching about not being able to stabilize a bar or a dumbbell, instead of opting for an easy machine where you're going to be fixed in, just fucking utilize these right. So go right over the hand, get it right over the hand to the point where your wrist cannot move. That's stabilized. That's giving you that extra support. If you only wrap these around your wrist and you tighten them like that, you look at all of that moment, like all of that movement I've got with my wrist. I can literally do anything with it. The second that is a slight bit over my hand, my wrist is not moving, therefore that's extra stability. So instead of just opting for a machine, stay on a barbell, stay on a dumbbell, and actually just use these correctly. Right, I'm gonna stop ranting and just train. Turn it to a side. Okay, Kev. Come on, you fucker. Come on, Kev. Let's fucking do this. Fuck it, I'll do a drop. When we were at FitX, we trained Prophecy, and I put the 60s up in Prophecy. On actually a higher incline, probably a 45-degree incline, that's one shallow. But put the 60s up, I took around 6 or 7. I think that was around 4 or 5. Regardless, I done dumbbells first when I was at Prophecy, dumbbells second in here. And again, anybody knows the iron cast plates, they're probably like 80 kilo dumbbells, let's be honest. But now we're going to move to an incline press. Staying on incline again, we're going to move to the hammer strength incline. And then what we'll do is we'll look at one more press and then flies. We're also going to attack a little bit of side delts today. Just side raises, nice and easy. We're not going to go heavy, we're just going to keep it nice and moderate weight. And again, just focus on getting a nice bit of blood in around the side delts. Finish on arms, and that'll be us. Yep. Oh. Ooh. Nice. So what you'll notice here is I'm literally just doing straight sets. No top set, no back off set. Straight sets. That is literally me done on there. 1 plate aside, 2 plates aside, 3 plates aside. Finito. I'm going to move to one more pressing movement. I'm going to do, I believe it's a Nautilus incline press. It's essentially another incline, and that'll be me done. We're going to do the exact same again. Straight sets, something that I like to kind of do when accumulating a little bit more volume throughout a session as well is, instead of doing low reps and working towards a top end set and a back off, I like to do straight sets. So from the very start, whether that be no weight, 1 plate aside, 2 plates aside, 3 plates aside, 4 plates aside, I'll just go 8 to 12 every single set. Essentially just do 12, 12, 12, 12, 12. And then as I get heavier, I might pull back, but I like that style of training, and that's what I've always kind of done. And again, I come in, I go by feel, I do what I enjoy, I love to train, so I never have an issue with it. Something like this sort of pressing machine, you can't go extremely heavy. The goal is literally just to connect with your chest as much as possible. The contraction on something like this is second to none. And anybody that knows, or anybody that's watched a lot of Jay Cutler's old videos, this was the kind of sort of machine that he would always swear by. And you can't really argue why, because one, best bodybuilder on the planet, two, because it feels incredible. So I try and include this in pretty much all of my chest sessions. I either do this, or I'll maybe do like a Cybex Incline Smith, but I do really like this, and again, connection's second to none, so we'll always keep it in. But I'll do one more set on here. Right, a little bit of side delts, tiny bit of arms, and that's us. I done pec deck at the start of the session, so I don't really need, I don't feel I need to do any sort of kind of fly work. I mean, 4 presses, that's more than enough. Again, that's one thing that I find very hard to take in, especially from something like a push-pull leg split, is how you're actually able to give your chest like 100% attention, or your shoulders 100% attention over the course of 6 days. If you do 3 on, 1 off, 3 on, say, and you're going to do a push session, you're probably not going to even do 2 pressing movements for your chest, 2 pressing movements for your shoulders. You're probably only going to do 1 of each, and then do like a fly movement. Whereas if you do an actual session that you can give that one body part 100% attention, I almost guarantee you'll get a lot more from it than something down the lines of splitting it all up. Personally, that's my opinion anyway. Nobody fight against it, because at the end of the day I don't really give a fuck. But I've always stuck by the so-called bro split. Again, the only reason I'm throwing in a little bit of side raises, no direct really major shoulder work, I'm just throwing in a little bit of volume because my side delts are the worst body part on the planet. A little bit of extra frequency on them and volume on them is not going to do anything, and again, they recover very well, so I've got no issues with that. So we'll just put a few sets in, nice and easy, not going to kill myself, and then arms, and then that's us. Okay. Fuck. That'll do for the delts. Now we'll just finish on arms. We'll do 1 for buys, 1 for tries, and then I'm satisfied. I'm happy. That's what you will find is, like, I'm only putting an extra emphasis on my side delts because my side delts are horrendous. That's me claiming that my side delts are bad because I'm natural. Again, find me somebody, unless they're like, I don't know. I just find it, as a natural athlete, it's very hard to get big, massive boulder shoulders. And everybody wants big boulder shoulders, so if I can get away with putting a little bit of additional volume in which I can, anybody can, you can, then at the end of the day, I'm going to do it. I won't put it in every session, but I'll put them in obviously on all my shoulder sessions and the additional chest session, because at the end of the day it's not really going to do me any harm. I'll get my full chest session out the way first, and then what I'll do is I'll put a little bit of emphasis on the side delts, and then that's literally me done. I'm not going to do any shoulder presses, front raises, because our front delts are getting obviously indirectly hit whenever we're doing chest, so at the end of the day we don't need any additional work on that. That's why everybody's got really good front delts, not the best side delts, because we're all good at pressing, we're all good at bench pressing, we're all good at chest pressing, but it's actually creating that extra stimulus on the side delts that's the hardest. And unfortunately, not everybody's blessed with insanely good genetics to have big boulder shoulders. So we'll finish on arms. I'm just going to literally stay on dumbbells, to be fair. We'll do a tricep push down machine if we can get on cables. We'll do a tricep push down machine on cables, or we'll do a press down machine, potentially the prime push down machine. But as for biceps, we're just going to do standing alternating dumbbell curls. In fact, patch that, we're going to do them seated because I can't be bothered standing up. And to be fair, that's another small update just for this video. Sciatica and that, I'm staying on top of my rehabilitation work. I'm staying on top of it, I'm not bitching about it, I'm not coming on to talk about it any more than I need to. We're staying on top of it, it's getting better, I'm in a much better place. The last update I think was a good few weeks ago now, so realistically I'm in a much better place, it's getting better, I'm still prepping, I'm still training hard. But yeah, that's really all I want to cover on that. I don't want to go too deep into it. No code and level up. My intro workout. 1.5 scoops of no code and 1 full scoop of level up. That's what I usually take. Off season I'll take carb up as well. So that's realistically my dextrin drink, my intro carbohydrates. But on prep we just go for essential amino acids and no carbohydrates intra workout, because my carbohydrates are that high outside that I'm fueled up. I just need a little bit of fullness, a little bit of hydration, and an extra bit of energy throughout my session. I don't need the extra carbs. Best tricep press in the game completely. I find that the prime tricep push down actually keeps me nice and locked in. Some tricep presses I do, I can never keep my arse on the seat. Whereas facing away, it's good, but you can only keep it really light. And again, it's a machine that you want to be able to connect, yes, but you also want to be able to take it nice and heavy. So I would always favour, if you've got the prime tricep push down machine in your gym, which a lot of gyms are getting now, make sure you use it. But that's all from me today, guys. Chest done, a little bit of side delt.